Medellin has been in the news lately, and unfortunately, not necessarily for the best things. But as someone who travels full time, I look at these kind of stories and I say, oh, well, those people are participating in illegal activities, or they got caught up in a Tinder scam, or they're not being safe. I'm safe. I don't show wealth when I'm walking around. I'm very careful about who I associate with. Nothing will ever happen to me, right? A few weeks back, I was walking down the street in the middle of the day, carrying a tea down a safe street in a safe neighborhood. And as I walked up to a street corner, I noticed there were 3 men standing there. They all turned and looked at me, and as I approached them, I noticed one bent down and picked up a brick. By the time I've processed what I'm seeing, I'm already at the street corner where the men are standing. I look at all 3 of them staring at me and I just say, buenas, and they say, pase, meaning keep walking. So I walk across the street a little bit faster, and as I'm walking, I turn and look over my shoulder, and the man with the brick is nearly to me. I look at him and I say, what are you doing? He takes the brick and he hides it behind his back, and he kind of turns around and starts walking away. So I keep walking, quicker this time. I turn around and the man with the brick is nearly to me. Now at this point I just start screaming and I go, what the are you doing? Get away from me. La, la, la. And the man turns around and walks back to his friends. I am terrified. I guess his plan was to hit me over the head and steal my bag. I don't know. Random acts of violence happen all over the world, but what really scared me, and the reason that we're leaving Medellin, is the fact that I was on a pretty busy street and no one really seemed to care. People looked at me like I was an inconvenience. No one stopped and said, are you okay? Or what's going on? Everyone just cared about their day. And I understand the overall sentiment towards foreigners right now in the city isn't great, but I would like to think that if I was in an actual dangerous situation like that one, someone would do something. And I want to be very clear. This is not a comment on Colombian people on the whole. I find most Colombian people to be very kind and generous, wonderful people. This is simply me acting on a safety concern for myself, and by proxy a safety concern for Mila. So today we are moving Mila to a pueblo about an hour out of Medellin called Jano, Grande. I know the question you're probably asking yourself is, Melissa, if you're so scared, why don't you just leave the country? And that is an excellent question. Around the same time as the breaking incident, my passport expired and I sent it to the embassy to get renewed. Contacted the embassy in Bogota, explained what happened, and they said if I can get to Bogota, they can get me an emergency passport. But other than that, not really much they can do. Not only would it be extremely difficult for me to get to Bogota with no identification, but the emergency passport only lasts 1 year. I've already been traveling on one from when I got robbed in Guatemala last year, and I wasn't really interested in getting another 1-year passport. Standard processing time for passports down here are about 6 to 8 weeks. And in real time, it's been 1 month since I sent my passport in for renewal. So in that 8-week period, I have 4 more weeks to go until my passport would arrive. 2 weeks ago, my passport came, and I am so thankful to have it. But I've already paid for 2 months of accommodation, and none of it is refundable. So I'm a bit torn on what to do. Part of me is like, this is why you have savings for when you do feel unsafe and you need to leave places. It's fine, $700, you'll make it up, move on. The other part of me is like, hey, give it a chance. You've already prepaid for it. Mila hasn't been out in her backpack in a few months. She's not really ready to fly yet. Let's give the country some time, get her used to her backpack, get her used to going out again, and then in a couple of weeks, see how you feel. If you're still feeling like you want to leave, go on ahead and leave. But at least we gave it a shot. So here's the plan as far as how we're going to move Mila. Obviously, since we've been here so long, I've invested a little bit of money in things like her cat tree and a bigger scratcher. But I've also been very intentional to buy other products that more or less give her the same sensation as the larger items do. So I bought her cat tree when we first got here, and then bought her the cat hammock. The cat tree provides her the opportunity to be a little bit higher and to be able to survey her kingdom as she does. But so does the cat hammock. The hammock I can throw in my suitcase. The cat tree we donated to our friend Mango. And then her infinity scratcher, a toy she absolutely loves, we are bringing to Jano Grande with us. But obviously we can't bring that on the road. So I bought the floor scratcher with a little ball that goes around it to make sure that we can give her the opportunity to have a scratch pad anywhere we go. And also a fun little toy that she likes.
Other than her 2 big toys, everything else that Mila has fits in half the suitcase, which is great.
Mila's been doing okay so far today. Obviously, anytime we pull the suitcases out, she's like, what's going on? But overall, she's been fine. We're all ready to go. Our car will be here in about 20 minutes, and I'm just saying goodbye to the family we've been living with, and it's really emotional. I'm not normally this sentimental when I leave places, but Mila grew up here. When we got here, she was 4 months old, and now she's 10 and a half months. It's been a really nice home for both of us. I hope this doesn't happen everywhere we live because it's gonna be tough if I'm this emotional every time. Ma'am. Oh yes. You see your churruskis? You got a couple churros? Those are for the drive.
With the help of our host, we were able to get everything moved downstairs and into the car pretty quickly. It only takes about 40 minutes to get out to Jano Grande, and of course, Queen Mila was provided the ultimate comfort the entire ride. Anytime we arrive in a new place, I always put Mila in the bathroom first. This lets her have a small space to explore without overwhelming her. But in true Mila fashion, she was out of the bathroom and exploring the new space in no time.
The hardest part about this place is that our room is on the 3rd floor, and there are 78 stairs between the bottom and the top, so moving everything in is a bit of a workout. Okay, everything is moved up. Mila is doing her inspection of the place. People always ask me what she's like when we get to a new place. And after she's done her inspection, after she sniffed around the entire place and okayed it safe for us to be in, she's pretty much fine. We've been in Jano Grande for a little while now, and it's really wonderful out here. It's a lot cooler than it is in Medellin. I feel safe walking around the city, running my errands. Mila definitely misses her koi pond, but she's doing all right. And to be totally honest, it just feels nice to feel safe. Okay, that's all for this time. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.